Hey, girl.
Hey,
How's it going?
Kit, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Second day of New Year's 2025.
And it's snowing.
And I'm wearing a scarf. So we are here in the barn today.
Yeah, enjoying the heat. Reminiscing on 2024 and
What a year it was.
what a year it was.
What's that noise? Is that a mouse?
No. That's my chair.
Are you sure it's your chair?
And my Crocs.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I swear I
You
heard
hear
a
that?
mouse. That's okay.
So, I've been thinking about setting intentions and
What are your resolutions? Do you have any for 2025? Or have you thought about it at all? Or had any time to think about it? Or given it? What's on your list? What's on your mind?
well, I seen an idea and it was writing down anything good, no matter how big or little, writing it down, folding up the paper, throwing it in a jar. And then at the end of the year, you go back and you read all the good things that happened throughout the year. Because I know for myself, I'm trying to think of all the good stuff that's happened. And I remember some things, but so many little things are just minimized, right?
I agree. That's really true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a few things I'm pushing myself to do, like getting this podcast up and running. Definitely
That's
pushing
a big
for
check
that.
mark. Check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, just I'm always trying to work on being a little bit better than I was the day before. So that's not really a resolution.
It's not for me. Yeah, it's more being more mindful of everything that you do or say or how you respond to something. Kind of puts you in a different place, and then maybe help to get you more organized, and then you can kind of move forward. I don't know. It's hard to get there. You said you want to get there, but how do you get there? That's all the steps in between. But the jar is a good idea.
The little habit building.
Yeah, I think
things.
That's a good habit. It's very positive reinforcement. It's like, this is what I think happened was great today. It may not be important to anyone else, but it is kind of a little thing I'd like to remember at the end of the year. So put it in a jar. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of that. I think that for me, for resolutions, I think just trying to be more organized. It sounds like everybody says it, but does it actually happen? For me, I really want to be more organized. What I tend to do is I don't write it down on a list. I just put it all in my head, and then I get overwhelmed. And then I look at my list in my head. I'm trying to think what it is, and I can't even remember because it's so big. And then I'll write it down, and then I feel like that once I've written that list down, it seems so daunting because it's so big. I think what works best for me is trying to set small, achievable goals. Like maybe I'm going to do one little checklist. It's like house stuff, and fix the towel bar the kids pulled off the wall. Fix the door lock outside so my dog can't open the door anymore. I've got to get her one of those round knobs because she opens up the door with the lever and then comes running into the house covered in mud. So stuff like that, those little things are actually a big deal. So those little lists, I'm going to do like a house list, to-do list. And then I'm going to do another list, I should get my will done. I don't even have a will done. So that's on my other list, which takes a bit of time to do all these little things.
Yeah.
So that's something I probably should get done. A lot of people I know don't even have one. All my other friends don't even have a will.
Technically, I should be getting a will.
So you don't have one either?
No. But you don't think about that. You kind of keep pushing that off because it's like, oh, it's for when I'm older. It's when I'm older.
But we are now we are older than we were.
We were older than we were. It's true. But even my parents have that. They have a will, but they didn't update it. The last time they updated it was before I was born.
Oh, wow.
Which is, a while ago. So now they're doing it now.
Now, yeah. It's like those little things you don't get done, or, it's mostly house stuff, actually. I feel like it's all these little house things that need to get done. There's a hole in the wall for my other son, and all those little things. And before you know it, you put it on your list, and it just kind of gets overwhelming, and then you get scatterbrained again. So I think I'm just going to have little lists and just try getting one checked off of those lists. and actually do it. It's the best feeling once you get a little check mark on your list being done. The terrible to-do list, but it does make you feel better when it's done. But I think the first thing on my to-do list is take down Christmas. I got to take down the Christmas tree, all the lights outside. So that's probably one of the first things I'll probably do. I don't know, in a day or two.
Yeah. One of the nice things about not feeling Christmas last year is that we have very minimal decor. I just wasn't feeling it, but I'm feeling the new year. I'm feeling it.
Me too.
Got to make some positive habits and set those goals and measure that progress. And
I'm going to go with the word positive. Positive is the best thing. I think being positive, it actually is like a trajectory to like, and it forces the whole like everything else around you to be positive as well, and it just kind of gets you in a better place, I think. So with that being said, I think being organized does help if you are writing down a list of what's important to you and just working on that list.
So the prioritizing of it on paper.
It is on paper, just like not on paper, not even on my phone, just on paper. I want it old-fashioned, write it out on paper, stick it there. I don't want to put it on my phone. And I'm just going to work off that list. And I think that's really a big thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been keeping I have one of those daily planners. This is my 3rd year doing it now. So I just write down what I want done and then I have things on my list that have to get done. So I make sure I do them. I make sure I check it off, which is kind of like a little reward for me, right? Checking it off.
I like the check mark.
And then some things that I can't get to, I just write down for the next day. And if they don't really matter, it doesn't really matter if I get them done then or the next day, right?
I like that.
But that's helped my brain a lot.
I think it's most definitely the most important thing is trying to make yourself not feel that you are out of control. And that's where it kind of crosses over to have more problems with stress. And then when you have too much stress, anxiety kind of comes in. Before you know it, you're kind of dwindling and you can feel that anxiety building up in your body and
just getting dragged down.
Yeah. And before you know it, you're literally feeling like you're in that rut. And it's kind of hard sometimes to kind of get that feeling of not being down and just kind of having more of a carefree mind with no anxiety, which is hard to achieve nowadays, but
it'd be nice if it would be possible. I definitely deal with ruts. And then when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, it just kind of felt like there was a huge shift. And I am still trying to get out of that.
I know. It's the shock of it too. It's the shock that gets people a lot. Yeah. So not just what the news is, it's the shock. Because you weren't expecting it. So you're dealing with the shock and then of course the news of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely going downhill there for a bit, but I do feel like I'm on an upward trajectory now. Having goals
I know you are,
and
for
things
sure.
to go towards.
You are.
Yeah.
I can see it. I feel it.
Every year for probably the last 2 or 3 years. That actually doesn't sound like much now that I say it, but
Christmases. That's a lot.
Yeah. I've just been telling myself this is going to be my best year yet. No questions, no I'm going to try, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. It's just this is going to be the best year that I've had yet.
I love it. It's going to be the best year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the best year. And I really think when you say it out loud, it becomes fact.
Yeah.
It's true. We me and you both said this before. We say something, we're like, oh, it's fact now. Once you say it, it's out there in the universe.
And it's there's no growth in your comfort zone. So it's you're uncomfortable. You're obviously growing a little bit, even though it's not a measurable growth.
Yeah, that is true. I do agree with that.
Yeah, and I think too, I've been trying to not drink as much alcohol. Just little things like that. Been trying to continuously work on my diet and make sustainable habits.
The diet's one of the biggest things too. If I eat something like junk food somewhere, we go out for like to a pub for have a drink and like, I don't know, French fries. I actually can tell I've had something not so good to eat. My body's just like kind of like shaky almost.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the anxiety, I can feel it coming on. And like, it's food for sure. Food for me. If I eat something bad, it really kind of comes back. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because I can really tell the difference.
Yeah.
The better I eat, more healthier, I feel like the anxiety kind of gets pushed away more. I honestly can't tell you that I have any specific tools that work for my anxiety. Sometimes I find going for a little walk by myself, my deep breathing techniques. I know there's many different kinds you can do. I probably should look at learning the different techniques. That'd probably be helpful for my anxiety because I do suffer with it. But I think the main thing is just having a couple minutes to myself to regroup and walk around. When my anxiety is bad, I can't just sit down. I have to do something. Like I'll clean the kitchen, or more specifically, I like to go for a little walk outside. What do you do? What helps your anxiety?
I have a couple things that I do. I do find like if I'm not sleeping well, I get really like emotional. If I don't exercise,
Oh yeah.
I get really like pent up and just I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but
Mm-hmm.
you feel more relaxed after, right? Uh I do feel when I'm pushing for things, like I will feel overwhelmed sometimes. So a lot of like I have to tell myself things too, like cliche sayings, kind of like you can't keep a bicycle upright if you stop pedaling.
Or you can do it tomorrow. It doesn't have to be done today. That's
Yeah.
a good one too.
You have your traditions though. You like your sparkles.
So yes, I like the sparkles. Everybody has to wear sparkles and wear out with me. It's bad luck if you don't. It could be anything sparkly, socks, some eyeliner, sparkly earrings, but you have to wear something sparkly. I feel like if you don't, it's the worst luck in the world. It's like taboo, something bad's gonna happen. So I've been doing this since God, probably like I'm gonna say since I was like 20. I've been doing the sparkly thing every year. So it's been a long time.
I think I'm just going to adopt your tradition because I really don't have any. And
No.
it's fun. I mean, I love sparkles, so.
Oh, I still wear sparkles, even if I'm at home by myself on New Year's. I definitely do sparkle something, usually shirt or pajamas or something sparkly.
Some people stand on their right foot so that when the New Year's rings in, you're starting off on the right foot.
I like that one. I have heard that, but I've never done it.
Forgot.
You forgot?
I was going to try it, but I forgot.
And the other one that I actually really like, in Spain, it's a pretty old tradition. You're supposed to eat 12 grapes, which stands for the 12 months of the year. And they need to be eaten one by one before the clock changes to 12:01.
Oh, so you got to eat 12 grapes in a minute?
Well, you got to start earlier. Start like 3 minutes before, 3 minutes before 12:01.
We would love to hear about your resolutions or any of your past experiences from your New Year's. In the comments,
yes.
Yeah, any traditions, any memorable moments. And if you do post traditions, let us know what your favorite is.
I'd like to hear it. I don't know anyone else that has traditions.
Well, it's getting cold.
It's getting a little chilly in the barn now.
Yeah, I think it's time for some coffee.
I want some coffee.
I love the smell of coffee.